I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm in love with my wife, Janie. My three kids are great. Life is good. Ooh. All right. There's a time.
Hi, I'm Bird. Afternoons 3 to 7 on 97.9 The Loop, Chicago's classic rock station. Once again, a very special guest here in the room today. Maybe you know him from his work with Yes, or maybe Jon and Vangelis, or the list is endless. Will you please welcome the iconic Jon Anderson?
Hooray! Hey. Oh my God, he's in the house.
Was that good?
I'm in the house.
Yeah,
I'm in
you
the
can barely
studio.
believe it, right?
I can't believe I'm here. In fact,
And Jon and I have known each other for years. It's nice to see you back in Chicago. By the
excellent.
way.
Thank you.
For those that are coming to see the show, I would imagine that it would be representative of all of the work and the various incarnations that you've participated in over the years.
It's my life making music.
So it'll be a
Yes,
little bit of
songs.
all of that.
Yeah, I do all the
representation.
songs that I wrote for the band. Well, not all of them. I'll be there all night. But songs that I wrote for the band that people like Starship Trooper, Long Distance Runaround, Roundabout, All of Lonely Heart, Yours is Known as Grace, and so on and so on.
Now, you have a very, very unique voice that has been very influential on a lot of people who've tried to sing that high and have hurt themselves in the process.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
and because a lot of people did kind of mimic some of the phrasing and some of the range that you were singing in. Now, at what point did you sort of realize to yourself, I think I might have a voice that might be decent for this?
When I started taking helium, I started inhaling helium. In fact, there's an album we did, I think it was Going for the One, and I was hitting top E all the way through. I can't believe I was singing so high. It's crazy. But, when I was young, I could never sing falsetto. And so I sort of, when I was in the school choir, I'd sing the top of my voice, these top notes. And the teacher would say, Anderson, for God's sake, shut up, or turn it down. Or could you sing outside the room? So,
Because there was so much projection and volume.
oh, yeah. And then, when I started with my first band was with my brother Tony, and we did Everly Brothers songs, so I sang the high harmony. And of course, from then on, I just always sang up there somewhere. It's called alto tenor,
Right.
So-
Right. Well, it certainly worked very well with who knew sort of the progressive rock that Yes started really doing, and really to a large degree kind of pioneered a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of it came from America, actually, musically. When we first started, we were very into Frank Zappa music. Me and Chris, when we started the band, we talked about Paul Simon all evening when we first met, because it's like something to do with the music of the Byrds and Buffalo Springfield. They were so exciting. And one of the bands that we really, really got into was Vanilla Fudge.
Okay.
Excellent band. And they did the best thing ever, which was to slow songs down or change the mood of the song, well-known songs. So we thought, well, why don't we do that with music? And when we first started as a band, we were doing, we used to do Beatles songs like Every Little Thing. And we used to do songs from, it was an album by The Fifth Dimension. You remember them?
Yes.
With Jimmy Webb. Because they were great songs. He was a great songwriter. And we used to do those songs, but sort of slow them down or speed them up. And that's how we started developing our musical style, really.
Wow. And we had just spoken before we are now speaking that you had actually, I just saw Paul McCartney, final of 2 nights last night at Wrigley Field, and fantastic. I don't know how he does it, 3 hours in that heat without a break, without taking a sip of water. But you had a chance to see the Beatles very, very early on in '63.
Yeah, me and my brother went to see them playing just north of Liverpool, a place called Southport. And they just released the single Love Me Do. And it was quite amazing. There was about 400 people just standing there. Nobody screamed. And they cheered at the end of each song. And they played their whole album and a lot of Chuck Berry songs.
Yeah.
And they were damn good.
Getting back to the shows, you're going to be doing any of the Jon and Vangelis stuff? Or?
Yeah. I do, State of Independence. What's the other song? I do a couple of songs. But one's I'll Find My Way Home.
Okay.
Nice song.
Friends of Mr. Cairo, or
Friends
too
of
difficult?
Mr. Cairo.
You do it? Okay. I was going to say it might be difficult to render live, but
Hey, I can do anything live. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. I just want to have a good time, and the audience is having a good time when I do it. So that's why you do it.
And you actually have a new album.
Sure.
That's worth telling people about too, please.
Survival and Other Stories. Survival.
Okay, Survival and Other Stories, which. And I didn't want to jump in too soon here, but that may be a reference, I would imagine, to the fact that you're solo now again. And
yeah, well, 2008, I nearly died 3 times. It was a pretty wild experience. I nearly drowned, and then I had an asthma attack, and I actually died in my wife's arms. My wife, beautiful Janie, saved my life twice that year, and they put me in a coma. And about 3 months later, I got some indigestion problems and infections and poisoned my pancreas that have been something that's been happening over the years, something that wasn't quite right with my system. And I was coughing a lot on the Last Yes tour, which was about, 6 years ago or so. And I just needed a break because I think I was coughing a lot. The only time I didn't cough was when I was on stage. So... I think it was a couple of years after that, 2007, I put an advert on my website saying musicians wanted, because I wanted to work with people around the world on the internet, MP3s and that kind of thing. And that's what the album's about, really.
Well,
in a short space of time, yeah.
We knew that you were having some, medical.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, but didn't realize it was to this extent.
Yeah, I had 6 operations. Trying to fix like Jiffy Lube.
Yeah.
Do it down there, they had to go through my throat.
Wow.
Every time.
And they didn't damage the vocal cords.
Well, I couldn't sing for 6 months.
Wow.
It's pretty wild.
But now it's come back.
Yes,
fine now?
I sing better than ever.
Okay.
That's what I say to myself.
That's what he says, yes. Yeah. And for those that are wondering, you're piecing it together, this is why Yes wanted to continue, but you weren't available, right?
Right. I was sick.
Yeah.
You get sick. People get sick. It happens.
But this isn't the first time that you've gone off and done other things, as we mentioned,
It's
John
true.
Evangelis, and you've done other solo things in the past too. So
every 10 years or so, I have to split because I think what happens. I was trying to think about it the other day that the outside influence is on the band. Mix up why the band's stops creating and stops developing ideas. It's because the outside influence on the band want to make more money.
yes,
And that's a problem sometimes. And sometimes I just got to get out of there.
yes, money overruling art.
It's true.
Yeah, and some of the enjoyment of. You brought your guitar. What can we mess about with?
I can sing a song.
Can you?
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Ooh.
It would.
Yeah, it would be amazing if I could.
Yeah, you could, but
I gotta try and see
won't.
if I can.
But I'm not going to.
I'll give it a try.
Okay.
We're talking about the Beatles, right? And my brother Tony and me, we just wanted to be Beatles, We played at the Cavern in 1963 in November. Tony and me, we had a real good time in a rock and roll band back in 63. We had it going strong. We used to make music all night long. Tony and me, we worked so hard on the farm, we didn't have a care. We would sing all day, chase the blues away. We just wanted to go and play in Liverpool. Oh, those Beatles songs, She Loves You, yeah, 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 yeah. And those Everly Brothers, wake up, little Susie, wake up. Wake up, little Susie, wake up.
And I've made that up on the spot, he says.